I hit a wall even with my therapy, and I was on edge. And she told me maybe you need to go and get back on medication. I was like, no, I cannot. I don't want to do it again. What's going on? I've been doing this work for so long. Why am I not getting better? Hi fam, welcome to another episode of بدون سكر of the new season. Today is a special day because I'm going to share a big secret with you that I've been dealing with for past year. And to do that, I got a guest with me who actually reached out to speak about general mental health, and we ended up getting to know each other. And he found out my secret too. So, and then we ended up bonding. So let me just introduce Kareem, who is my guest today. Hi, Kareem.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Amazing.
Thanks for joining today. I know today is not necessarily the easiest thing to talk about because we love taboos. So what I want to talk about today is neurodivergence. And if you don't know what neurodivergence means, it's anything that falls away from neurotypical setup, let's say. So neurodivergence is people who have ADHD, autism, OCD, dyslexia, anxiety disorders, a lot of neurotypes that diverge. And to be specific, we will cover today ADHD and autism, but maybe more about ADHD. Why am I talking about it today? Because more and more women my age, so in their 30s, are being diagnosed. And even though I don't have a full diagnosis, I do have signals that I do have ADHD, and it has been both life-shattering and life-changing. So, hi, Kareem.
Yeah, hey.
Why are we here today?
Why am I here today? Honestly, I think the biggest thing is one, shedding light about what you mentioned, you know, having ADHD and what are the good things that come out of it, which I see a lot more than I think the negatives now that I actually know that I have it. And some things that have been a bit challenging along the way. And I think as well, just hearing more about your journey, about your experience, because I think we've all had different journeys. We've all had different moments, and when we were like, okay, this is something I'm not so comfortable with, or I love it, or whatever it is. And that's something that I think is really interesting between me and you.
Before we start, what is the definition of ADHD?
So actually, for those who know me, so I call it attention deficiency hyperactivity. I removed the disorder because I do not think it's a disorder. I think it's
That's interesting.
It is. Because, and to me, this is actually one of the first few things that I've started to do to normalize the idea of having ADHD and to not take it as, because, you know, whenever you have something, you feel like you're put in a box or you're put in a certain space in which you're different than everyone else. And I think this was the first step. So you're hyperactive.
I don't remove it. You're not going to accept this, but I see it as a disability or disorder. But there's nothing wrong with it. No. It's, you know, it is part of accepting it and accepting its negative naming. But first of all, let's agree on some things that are not okay to use. You cannot tell people everyone's a little bit ADHD because it's literally a developmental issue. It is literally the way your brain is wired, and it's wired differently. And there are more and more scientific works about it. So let's please avoid that kind of conversation from everyone. And this is like a PSA. Do not say people or everyone is a little bit ADHD. You are dehumanizing it, belittling people, and invalidating them. So let's put that out. So let's start from the beginnings. Yeah. How did you find out?
So I'll tell you a bit about my background. So I've grown up in Dubai, went to school in Sharjah for my whole life, but I've always struggled in school. I never really knew why. And I think at a younger age, it was more the idea of I just don't like studying. I don't care for it. I just want to sit down, watch wrestling and eat my chips. That's all I wanted to do as a kid. And again, I never knew why. Like I'd go into exams, I'd know everything, but writing it down was super tough.
Really?
I could never do it. Like I remember, I'm going to have to say it in Arabic. So كنا in like a parent teacher conference وكنا عند المدرسة العربي. She goes like, كريم يعني تلميذ كتير شاطر وكتير منيح بس إنه بيعرف كل شيء. طب ما اكتبهم. إنه اكتبهم. برجع بقول لا
ما قال جلادي.
ما قال جلادي. فبترجع بتقلي طب إنه بتقلي أنت عندك عادة كتير بشعة يلي هي بتفوت على الفحص ما بتجاوب على كل شيء بتعرفه بتجاوب عليه، كل شيء ما بتعرفه ما بتجاوب عليه. Which to her was like,
why would you do that?
Why exactly?
It's illogical.
Exactly, which is I think now, and recently I'm starting to realize that that's actually part of having ADHD, which is you try to not find the loopholes, but you do what's best for you. You do what you think is,
and you avoid tasks that you perceive that are very hard. It could
100%.
be as stupid as moving one thing to another, but you could go and clean up your entire house.
Yeah.
But God forbid, حتقيمها الشغلة.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
And for me, initiating tasks is very hard.
Yeah.
Very, very hard.
I think that's usually the hardest part because again, it's always that first step that you need to do, and it's always super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Again, it's interesting because I always wonder, it's like, is it usually more so for people with ADHD or is it with people who don't have? Because
no, it is. So I've been reading. I'll tell you my story. I've been reading a lot about it and seeing a lot of content and all of that. So your body and your brain sets you up 100% to fail.
Yeah.
You are going to relapse and you're not going to do something. So your body and your brain works against you.
And you're in constant survival mode the whole time.
Yes. So it is people with ADHD struggle with it. It's a very specific thing and it's a very big indicator that you have it.
Well.
Yeah, so you beat the odds every time. every time. No, so even so in school I never knew never knew I failed most of my high school exams. I don't even know how I really till today I don't know how I made it to university. Failed I think my first 2 years of university. Oh wow.
3 probations and then something clicked. It was like في شيء غلط أكيد في شيء غلط. وثائبت at that time I was taking a counseling course. And my friend at the time, she was a therapist. So I went to her and she was like, I'm going to recommend you to go to this doctor. Go and see, talk to him and see what's up. Went to him and ما قلت مرحبا ADHD. I was like, wait a minute, is that how it works?
Not really.
Not exactly.
Yeah,
so,
but
But again, at the time, I didn't know what's right, what's wrong, is it normal, is it not normal? فأول شيء عملته فتحت التليفون دقيت لأهلي 1, 2, 3, 4 I have ADHD. And at the time, so you can imagine you're on 3 probations, you're on literally last straw. Like if you've not passed it, you're screwed. You're out of university. Your
future.
Your future is screwed. And the thing is, you know that something is wrong, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So you feel super weak. You feel super. I don't know what to do.
Place, yeah.
And at the same time, what I felt was super so stressful at the time is that no one seems to believe you.
Yeah.
When you tell them, I'm really studying. Like I really am. I'm doing what.
You're not doing enough.
You're not studying the right way. And at the time, I was playing a lot of rugby in university, so I loved it. So that was some of where my time went. Not all of it, but a lot of the other time, I'm just sitting down, studying, reviewing stuff. Just said, "Khalas, I get my life on track." Came back to Dubai, got a test. It was, I think, one of the most uncertain times of my life. Because on one hand, I knew that I had it, but it wasn't confirmed via a test. It was more of a verbal thing. But on the other hand, it was more of, okay, you know what? At least now I'm getting to the solution, which was empowering. It's like, you know what? Fine, you have ADH in brackets T. You have it, so at least now you know that there is ways around it. Either if it's through medication, if it's through therapy, it's by actually reading about it and being more aware of it. Yeah, that's really, long story cut short, how my journey's been. It's been tough because 18 years of just super uncertainty, actually even over 18. Just not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say. But here I am. And I'm honestly looking back, I'm proud of how far I've come. Honestly.
Yeah, I think people underestimate how much it makes life, or normal living easier. Yeah. Especially when you see people around you just, just sailing by, Well, thank you for sharing. I wish my journey was a little bit easier. I don't want to say yours was easy, but more straightforward. To give context, I think for the longest time, I felt like there's a broken switch. Some things just do not work. And I still do suffer from a lot of emotional deregulation. For the longest time, I was a ticking time bomb, disorganized and all of that. But I excelled academically. I would do an exam 5 minutes and get 99. I graduated with honors. I graduated with double honors from university. I had all of these things that are not typically ADHD, which we'll get into it. It's been a year. exactly since I got an inkling or a signal that I have ADHD, and I couldn't accept it. Maybe I only accepted it a few months ago even. So what happened was I hit a wall even with my therapy, and I was on edge. And she told me, maybe you need to go and get back on medication. I was like, no, I cannot. And medication was antidepressant. I was like, I can't. I don't want to do it again. What's going on? I've been doing this work for so long. Why am I not getting better? You know? At the same time, a very good friend of mine who was a little bit older than me, she was diagnosed with ADHD. And she was telling me about her and how it happened and how she found out. And she was in the UK. I see a lot of similarities between me and her, what bothers her, what doesn't bother her, how we plan, how we live our lives. I was like, okay. And then the algorithm worked towards my favor. I have no idea.
As it was, they're probably hearing us right now,
Most
by the way.
likely. I have no idea. I started seeing ADHD content on my Instagram. You know, as I'm scrolling so literally, casually at my reels. And I was like, why do I relate? These sound like my reality, like my life. And I was like, no. I stayed in denial. But then my friend, the same friend I told her about it, I asked her more questions.
Yeah.
She sent me an account, which I will share. It's called Your ADHD Coach. It simplifies it, and it's also female-led. Being female is a very big part of this. And I downloaded the thing, and I filled this in. And I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. Like, no one knew in my life what's going on. And so ADHD is it's three types. It's inattentive, hyperactive, and combined. And women present differently than men. And a lot of the times, a lot of the diagnostics were made for young white boys. Those are important because race matters.
Interesting. Okay.
Wealthy young white boys, to be specific.
Wow.
And it was thought for a long time it's a male disease or disorder or whatever you want to call it. And it ends at puberty. Lo and behold, all of this was wrong.
Yeah.
On top of that, a lot of women present inattentively. So what you see at a boy who's running around who can't sit down is not what a girl's going through. Her hyperactivity is in her mind, and my mind does not stop.
Yeah.
It's tiring. So I did that test and everything. So it's out of 10, scale out of 10. And I have to go through all the symptoms, which we'll go through in a bit. Everything was 6+ to 8s and 9s. And I was like, oh my God. And I went to find a diagnostic person here. Horrible experience. He was like, oh, maybe you have some attention deficiency. Fine. I'll give you this medication. I didn't take. And he's like, but I think you have depression. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I have proof. Like I have things. And he invalidated me and I left. So I went and saw my therapist. I was like, okay, let me tell her that. I was like, I think I have ADHD. She was like, actually, I've been wanting to tell you for a long time. But that's not her focus.
Yeah.
So she's like, but you've been showing traits, but I didn't have a way, or I wasn't 100% sure how to tell you because you wouldn't have accepted it. Knowing myself, I'd be like, حلي عني مينك انت. We came together at the right time, but I still denied it for a long time. I kept reading and watching and reading and seeing until when you start knowing, it's hard to unsee. When you start seeing, it's very hard to unsee. And now, like, I can tell people easily who are neurodivergent to an extent. And what helped as well, my little brother got diagnosed with ADHD at a very young age. And then when I read that most likely if you have it in your family, most likely you have it too. So it added up. But the extra layer that I have, because why not, is there's signals that it might be with autism as well. And one thing people have to keep in mind, ADHD and autism, they're called sister disorders, actually. And they relate a lot to each other and they manifest similarly. So it's not necessarily, you might be autistic, but you might not, but it's hard to separate, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
So it's been a secret and I've been telling specific people about it, but now I want to open up about it because it has taken over my life.
Well, actually, I mean, as you were talking, a million thoughts came to mind, as you can probably tell.
As you do, yeah.
But actually, one thing that I was been like really curious to know more about is why do you think you were in denial about it?
I should have been relieved. My problem is I couldn't tell when I started and when did the disorder start, because everything that I thought was unique to me was part of ADHD. My anger, my impatience, even relationship with my body, the way I lived my life. So I have no idea what's what, and that made me feel less
Unsure.
in control and unsure. And also things like I have problems with authority. Oh, guess what? People with ADHD have problems with authority.
You do.
You know?
Do you know what? It's because I don't want to say I mean, some people call it you're like a rule breaker, but I see it as we're curious.
Yeah,
We like to do things a different way.
and also we have sensitivity to injustice. So you're like, no. And I think Budun Sukkar is a product of ADHD and autism and neurodivergence for sure.
Of course, because again, you're doing something and you're saying something that isn't a norm to do and say.
Yeah,
so
and
no,
so when I talked to my therapist, I was like, "How did you know?" She's like, "I saw traits from the beginning, and one of them is your inability to move on from your past is because it doesn't make sense to you, and we're quite logical. That could be both autism and ADHD." I was like, "Fine, okay."
Then
It felt like a disability. I felt like I had special needs. I do, and it is special needs. Maybe you don't want to hear it, or people don't want to hear it, but it is that, and I felt it, especially that I couldn't control it. You know, and it showed up in places where I should have had more control. Yeah, so it felt bigger than me, and I think that's why. And I have control issues.
No, look, and again, I think the whole thing with ADHD is that it affects a large parts of your life, right? So, I mean, things like you mentioned them, like food, yourself, but even things like relationships, things like family, things like every single thing you do, there's an effect. But I also try to see the silver lining of those effects.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I might not be great at some things, but other things I know that I'm really good at.
It's taken me a while, you know?
And it's a journey.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be easy. Anytime I think about my mental health and I think about it from where I've been and where I am today and where I'm going to get to, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you the first time we've met, but basically Miley Cyrus had a song like years ago. Like I used to listen to Miley Cyrus. I don't listen to her anymore.
It's fine. No one is judging you.
I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. There's internet trolls out there.
I'll make fun of you later. It's fine.
Yeah. Do you see what I have to deal with? Anyways, so she has a song called The Climb. And I don't know if it was one of those YouTube videos where it's like someone writes up the lyrics and they post it, or if it's her actual video.
Okay.
But essentially what it was a long road, like a long, dark road. And there was a mountain at the end of it. To me, that's what my journey looks like. It's a long road and there's a huge mountain to climb. It's endless. There's going to be the potholes along the way, but I will get there.
I think it's great that you're optimistic, and that is a trait on its own. So apparently ADHD in women cause higher low self-esteem, higher percentage of, you know what I mean? Like more women with ADHD have low self-esteem. So your psyche is also against you. So I don't know if men feel the same way, but for sure I can feel it. I see it. So it's very hard to be optimistic, to trust yourself, to believe yourself. You know, there's a lot of self-betrayal for me. I don't know if I see it that way. Actually, all I'm seeing is I felt like, you know, when in the movie they show you all the realizations, and I'm like, oh my God, all the flashbacks. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yani, I got lucky in a lot of things. Like, thank God I had a great career. I have a great career. But I couldn't keep a job for more than 2 years out of insubordination from my own self. Not like they fired me, but more like I can't do this shit. I'm out. And I've done it a lot. Maybe in the past 10 years, I've changed 7 jobs. Yeah, that's not normal. And I've had my fits. So yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about what's to come ahead, but I feel like I'm more aware. So I'm neither. Not optimistic. Not.
But you know. But again, do you know what I think this is? I think you're just curious. Really, like, because everything you're saying now, I'm like, okay, I relate to it because a lot of times I think of myself, I'm like, okay, maybe I want something else. Maybe I want to venture into this. But at the same time, you always feel like you're not fulfilled because we're so used to doing a million things at once. We're always so used to trying something new, doing this, doing that, and doing something that we're truly passionate about. Yeah. And I think in your case, like, I think within the 2 years, you've done what you needed to do. Khalas, next one.
Done.
I'm not going to waste more of my time. And I don't disagree with this way of thinking at all. Sometimes it's
just risky.
Super risky. Super.
Yeah.
But it's a risk that you need to take if you feel like if you feel 100% about it, go for it. Yeah.
Just to give a little bit more context about ADHD and its prevalence. So I was doing some readings because these things make sense. Which makes sense. I want it to be more factual because this is really important. Yeah. So worldwide prevalence of ADHD among children is 7.2%, and it can reach up to 15.5%. The Middle East is 6 to 16%. Saudi specifically is 9.2%, and Lebanon, I doubt it, but it's 3%. I feel the entire country is ADHD, but
but there is one thing though actually about these numbers.
Yes, so tell me.
Which is, you also need to keep in mind as well that, you know, we are in the Arab region, so a lot of people as well aren't tested.
Yeah, 100%.
So whole من العالم that tested.
Yes, and it's called children as well.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of undiagnosed adults.
100%.
A lot.
Exactly the point. Yeah.
So I think those numbers are
But it's interesting. But even those numbers are interesting. Like, because again, I think now slowly, the Arab world is opening up to this idea of having ADHD or having different things. It's good to feel that you're part of that wave, because you're there and you're doing it and you're doing pretty good at it.
Trying. But yeah. Okay. Let's cover the topic of diagnosis, because there are a lot of limitations to it. And just because you don't have a proper diagnosis doesn't mean you should rule it out. And do not gaslight yourself, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're older. Because, so as I told you, I didn't get a official diagnosis like you did.
Yeah.
And I won't go for it. I know I'm neurodivergent, and that's all I need to know. And I don't need someone who is not well versed in women, who is not well versed in ADHD, who's going to cost me 10,000 dirhams, which is the cost, really, to tell me, oh no, you're fine. I'm not neurotypical, and that's fine. Whether I'm ADHD, autistic, doesn't matter at this point. I'm just learning. But also that label can be harming, and not even having that label can even be more harming, you know, if someone to gaslight you. And a lot of autistic committees around the world advocate for self-awareness and self-diagnosis, and there are the official ones online. They're all there. I've done all 6 of them, more than that, because I was like, I just need to know. And it was always higher than neurotypical, not necessarily the highest. I'm privileged enough to have low support needs, but in general, they're all there. You can read a lot about it, and there are a lot of communities that actually support each other. So you don't need an official diagnosis. But it's good to know. It's more empowering. And luckily, I don't need concentration medication at this point. My issues is not concentration. But I used to think I'm so good at multitasking. But what was it? My attention span is so small that I just can, I multitask so well, because I can give attention for a small amount of time and do it well and then go back. So
that's actually really interesting. You know, sorry, as you were talking, I was thinking about this thing, which is, you know, like a lot of times we avoid like the whole test and stuff. One, for financial things, and I understand that 100%.
Yeah.
But there's also another side of, excuse my French, يعني الحكيم أحمر, الحكيم ما بيفهم, whatever. And I was thinking about this. I was like, what if one day AI can detect you with ADHD?
That's worrying.
Because I was reading this thing the other day, they've detected somebody with some sort of cancer, and it was fucking crazy.
Not through AI. That was created for something for ice cream, and then it detected cancer in people.
No.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. Or maybe I read the headline and I didn't read the blueprint. Maybe.
Because ADHD doesn't allow you to read the whole article.
Exactly. You just read the, like, I got the main idea. I don't need to read the rest. No, but even that could be really interesting as a because I think the world is moving in that direction.
Yeah.
And I think having that is scary but cool. That's all I'll tell you.
I would be worried about it, because don't forget, AI is built on human intelligence.
100%.
And
if the person's built it is an idiot, then well, we're all screwed.
حمير, so you're just perpetuating that. I would be worried.
Yeah.
What I would love to do is go through a list of symptoms to understand how you and I differ with that, if at all. So one key part of diagnosis is not if you have yes, no, if you have it. It's also how long have you noticed it, and how badly does it impact your life. We don't have to answer all of that, but those are three key things about diagnosis, because if you have it and it has zero impact in your life, doesn't matter. But if you have it and you only noticed it a month ago, then also it's not necessarily a good diagnostic. Okay, so let's
see.
Starting with
let's get tested.
Yes, inattentiveness.
Oh. Do we need? No, it's so hard. Like,
I
mean, it's helped because I've taken medication for a long time, so that's getting better.
Okay, your inattentiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, easily distracted, whether by thoughts or things.
Of course.
High.
Super high.
Seems like not listening.
No.
I saw that in you. At one point, I thought you were listening. But then I was like, oh, ADHD, he's listening.
No,
you
actually, no.
I think you listen, but you look like you're not listening.
I don't look, but I listen.
But it seems like not listening.
Seems like I'm listening.
I was told a long time ago when I was in high school, you're a bad listener. I took it to heart.
Really?
For me, I think I'm a very good listener, but I think I look like I don't listen.
Thing is, I always got, I get the opposite of that. People say you're such a good listener. I was like, It's so nice of you. Like, little do you know, like, how many things I think of, but that's okay.
Little do you know what's in my head.
Literally.
I've changed the world 100 times, but you don't need to know that. Yeah, when people talk to me, I think about 100 things.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, difficulties with organization. So this is interesting. When I was very young, my room was disgusting. And apparently kids with ADHD can present differently when they get older.
Yeah.
So if you're chaotic at a young age, you can be organized. So, and my entire family was almost OCD. And I'm not saying it as making fun of the disease. I think some of them are OCD. They're like, what the hell happened to you? Like, if you entered my room, you cannot walk because there's shit everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Disgusting. Now, I'm so organized, big planner. I enjoy planning, love it. I think that could be part of my autistic traits, actually, the planning and the structure.
Yeah.
So, do you have difficulties with organization?
So, my story is a bit similar to yours. So, I mean, in university, my room, oh my God.
Oh my God.
I literally, as you were talking, I imagined
how bad it was.
Like the lump of clothes
pile.
that would be on my bed, and
pile.
as I see, I just kick it out. Like,
I never finished. The pile never finished.
Never finished. But now, I mean, actually, my mom said this to me once, and it stuck with me ever since this day. She was like, "The way your room looks is a representation of your head."
Yeah. What is it? Cluttered.
Yeah, like
space, cluttered mind.
Is messy, then your mind is all over.
But I never felt that, and that's the thing. Also with ADHD is it's an organized mess. You know where everything was, and I did that. Like, don't touch my mess. I know it, but now I cannot see clutter around me. Okay, difficulties to hold attention. So, like, if you read the same page over and over.
Oh yeah, especially when I'm reading books.
Okay,
definitely.
I'm a very fast reader, but sometimes there
are I know what's helped me a lot is I started to underline things. So like, I don't know, like if it's subconscious. No, that's a bit extreme. I don't do that. I just have a bookmark and a pencil. You've literally like drawn a whole flag there.
Look.
Like,
sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, I can imagine it feels nice, but no, I'm not at that level yet.
Okay, fine. You'll get there.
I hope so.
Okay, this is a really bad thing that I do a lot. Make mistakes often. Typos, forget ingredients, you know, like if you're cooking. For me, typos are ridiculous and I don't see them. The things, I got into so much shit at work because of typos. No?
Typos, not so much because of autocorrect. So, because there was a blueprint there. Forgetting things, yeah.
I misplace a lot of things. I've known to the stuff.
Oh, don't even get me. Dude, the number of times I've lost my wallet is ridiculous. Like,
I misplace rather than lose.
No, I lose. Okay. I miss everything.
Everything.
So, yeah.
Okay, hi. Difficulties with instructions, especially verbal. If you're to give me directions. Like, yes.
It's like, yeah, sure, I get it. And you're like, oh, fuck. I'm screwed.
Yeah, but I'm very good with IKEA instructions.
IKEA?
Yeah.
Of course.
But they're visual and actually
they're visual and
very simplified.
Yeah. They're super simple to read.
Okay, this is we talked about. Avoid difficult tasks. We just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bad.
Forget it.
Forgetfulness. You forget like you bought these things. You forget birthdays. You forget that.
Oh, yeah.
My memory is so strong though.
Oh.
So this is for me is not that
high.
Do
you have like omega-3s every day and fish and?
No, I'm very bad.
Oh, okay.
Nutritionally, I'm horrible.
Okay.
But my memory now deteriorated, but as old age happens. But for a long time, I remembered everyone's birthday. I remembered everything. I had a semi-photographic memory. I would remember the page and where the answer was, but not necessarily see the answer. I just knew it was like, there. You know.
Literally, it was like Command F. It's like
yes,
there.
Yes. It's like, I know what it is, and I can draw it for you, and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's inattentiveness. Those are the main ones.
Okay.
Hyperactive hyperactivity present in women internally. So just because I'm not moving around doesn't mean my mind is not moving around. And this is the biggest thing that people miss with women.
Yeah.
Men, boys, present hyperactivity physically. Fidgeting. You were just fidgeting.
I'm always fidgeting, by the way. Like, you're lucky, by the way. So I had a phase before. My boss and my sister gave me like a very big intervention about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, do you remember that scene in How I Met Your Mother when they walk in and there's an intervention sign? I would always pick my beard every day.
Oh.
I would sit down. I'd be like this.
عملت جوار؟
هلا ما بعرف ما بحس يعني بس إنه هلا أكيد there's some bald spots بس هلا I just brush it, which is now my new thing.
Okay.
Like, but it. My way of fidgeting, I keep like moving the pen in my hands.
Doodling is kind of fidgeting as well.
Yeah. Like when I'm in a meeting, like, or someone's saying something to me, I fidget. But it makes sense when I read it after. It's like, okay, so that's what they meant.
Yeah.
Don't know.
No, for me, there's a bit of karma here. So there's this woman in my ex job who I was like telling someone, I'm sure she's on the spectrum. Something is odd about her. She would not sit still. She would touch everything on her desk. And then that was one of my telling signs. So I think also my traits were exasperated from stress.
Yeah.
And growing a bit older. So I realized that I was in a meeting and I could not stop touching things, holding things, bringing things to me. And I was like, oh my God, she is me. I'm her. Oh my God. Like when you make those realizations, it's like,
yeah.
Okay. Leave seat often.
No.
Sometimes I do. I need to do things.
Yeah, but not really. I mean, no.
This, I'm sure you're going to answer. Difficulties to relax.
To relax. Hold on, relax in what sense?
Relax and
like relax physically or relax mentally? Like
both.
Physically, not really.
You can't relax physically.
Like even if I'm sitting down watching a film, I don't feel like I'm relaxing. My mind is always
And what about vacations?
So actually I'm going on vacation soon and I'm excited because I actually want to test out not thinking about anything. Just literally sitting down on the beach.
It's so hard.
Getting sunburnt.
It's so hard.
It is extremely tough because, again, we're just always so filled with energy. I don't know how.
Yeah. So always on the go.
Yeah.
This was so bad for me. I would have 5 plans at the same time.
And you can't
say no.
But you can't say no. You can't manage your time.
No, actually, I'm very good at managing my time, but I think because I'm overcompensating for for time blindness. True. If I'm always early, I'm always on time. With you, I'm kind of delayed, but I'm always on time, actually.
We're not gonna say this on air. I'm just joking.
And I meet my deadlines. I never had problems with that. And again, maybe that could be my autistic part, or it could be overcompensating because you might be late. Yeah.
My thing is, I'm really bad with time.
You've been okay.
I mean, today, because it's a recording, so I can't be late to record. Like, who do I think I am? But like, if it's like like an outing, let's say it's at 7, I'd be there at 7:45.
Oh no way, no.
Because I forgot to shower. Oh
no,
I left the house late.
I'm the opposite. No, but my entire life revolves around it. But that's also overcompensation, Yeah. Okay, it talks a lot. We're in a podcast.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, kind of a
yes.
Given.
This was bad. Blurt out answers.
I'm okay at it.
I was so bad at it. Like I couldn't contain. I have to. That's one of the key things I noticed, or someone pointed out at me. I interrupt a lot, but for me, all Arabs interrupt.
Yeah,
but not until I got into a professional place. My manager at that time was like, "Stop interrupting people." And then when I started noticing I can't control it, I was like, okay. Difficulties to wait.
To be patient.
Yeah, to be in line, to wait for people, to wait for things.
In traffic, I'm the worst. I don't understand why there's... Till today, I don't know why there's traffic in the world. I don't get it.
No, I get angry.
I lose myself. Like road rage, I hate that, but... Yeah, no, it's not great.
Okay, the last part. Unofficial symptoms. And I relate to a lot of these.
Okay, let's go.
Emotional dysregulation. This is my telltale.
Not really.
For me, it's horrible. It's impacting my life, my career, my marriage, my friendships. My rage is so bad.
Really?
And people, even Ahmed told me you have to go do anger management. And I'm like, I don't think it's something resolved with anger management. I think it's bigger than that. It's really bad. And this is where I'm like, it's taking over my life.
It's interesting because I know a lot of people who have certain things and they don't necessarily want to address it. And I think the first step for me is always trying. Even if you don't believe it, just try it. Because you'll never know. I mean... Yeah. Even in therapy, when I first started, I was like, man, what is this? A year on, I'm like, there is no way I'm ever stopping. Yeah. Ever.
Yeah. No, it's hard. I struggle. Yeah. And it makes me feel like, okay, it used to work to be the angry woman. Now it's not working anymore. No. Sleep issues.
Oh, waking up or sleeping?
Both. Sleep and to stay asleep, and insomnia in different ways.
Sleeping is super easy. Waking up is super hard.
Oh yeah, that's an ADHD thing. So now I have the others. It's hard for me to sleep. It's hard for me to continue sleeping. It's easy for me to wake up. I wake up a lot, and it's really I never have full hours of sleep.
So actually, sorry, what was interesting is in the past, I would always wake up actually in the middle of the night to check my phone.
Oh, that's anxiety maybe.
Exactly. So I would wake up just to see, did someone text me?
Oh, wow.
And if they texted, I'd need to reply.
Oh,
and usually when I
wow.
sleep text, it's like the dumbest shit in the world.
Oh, God.
And things that
That's bad.
possibly, shouldn't say.
Shouldn't have said. Sensory sensitivities.
No.
That's
really.
actually one thing that convinced me.
Really?
I don't have it all the time, but there are days where I'm like, the light hurts my eyes. Not shamas, like I can't. The sounds, the lights, and it's sensory overload.
Actually, that one's interesting. I've never heard of this one.
It's a big neurodivergent thing. It could be both
Okay.
autistic and ADHD and other things. It's very strong.
Interesting, yeah.
It also could be, كيف تحس بالورقة
ليكي هلا في
fabric.
قصص مثل هيك. For example, like
You don't like strong tastes. Could be it.
that is true. But also I don't like, sorry for all the animal lovers here, I really can't touch animals. I cannot.
Oh, no way. Do you
I
find
cannot.
it's too... I love animals.
Oh no.
Like they ground me.
No. Like
Okay, we can't be friends.
No, to feel an animal like the fur and their skin and
do
the
you feel
bones.
it
Oh my
strongly?
god. Oh my god. No.
So interesting.
No way.
Okay, social awkwardness.
Used to. Now not as much.
I had the biggest social anxiety.
Really.
I used to be the shyest person I know, biggest social anxiety. Even though I did public speaking every year from school, if I enter a place, my heart would drop. It was so hard. It's so hard. It took a lot of confidence and working actually with my husband and being exposed. It's like a muscle.
Of course.
But still, like sometimes if I don't do the right thing, my heart drops.
It's like why?
شو صار؟ رؤية. Okay, this one is very bad for me. Rejection sensitive dysphoria.
Of course. I can never deal with rejection, especially
So bad.
at work.
It could be neutral feedback though.
Yeah.
To actually bad feedback, yeah.
So Damon is like, so and I work at a creative agency, so like you'd get a feedback. It's like, so we like this, but and it's like
that but
exactly, and it's like, but hold on, but I could have done better. Like I could have maybe avoided that comment.
And it keeps going.
Keeps going. It doesn't stop.
And on.
And that's actually something that I really have to thank my boss for.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, if you're watching this, hey, something that I think she's really helped me with. Like it is what it is. Like people always have their comments. Just let it be. You can't control the world.
It's not about you. It's hard not to take things
exactly.
personally. It's so hard.
And the world doesn't revolve around you. That's really the simple truth about life. The world
But it
does not
does.
revolve around me. Yeah.
Okay, and the last two. Lack of time awareness. We talked about it. Hyperfocus.
So actually, hyperfocus is interesting because I was talking about this yesterday with a friend of mine, and hyperfocus usually comes in, especially for people with ADHD.
You can say it.
Yeah, it usually comes around when it's something that you're super passionate about.
Yes,
So
yeah.
for example, like for me, if it's the gym, I don't know, watching Modern Family, if it's
hobbies, it's
hobbies,
food,
whatever it is. But if it's something that I do
yeah.
not care about, it's super hard to focus.
Yeah, you have to remain entertained.
Yeah.
For me, it's more hyperfixation. If I love something, I can eat it 100 times. I end up wearing the same things, or like if I buy something new, you'll see me wearing it a lot.
Yeah. Actually, that's interesting because actually I never made this link to food, but I mean, I thought of it, but I'm like, no, it's probably like a big stretch. But like anybody who knows me will always say, what's Kareem's favorite things in the world?
What is it?
3 things.
What is it?
Peanut butter, grilled chicken with ketchup, as we
Okay.
talked about it earlier, and chicken and rice. These two things, they're
Do you eat them every day?
Almost every day.
Okay, yeah.
Non-stop.
There was a time apple juice was my thing. I cannot drink apple juice anymore.
Oh, I love apple
I had it for at least the entire summer, every single day, twice a day, whatever. You know, like just the thing to go to. Yeah.
I need some apple.
Now I'm like, no.
It's a no from me.
Okay, to wrap up. So just to wrap up, actually, I will post more about these things because time is up. I think there's a lot of knowledge that I want to share about ADHD in women and autism and all of that. So I'll create more posts. So check my Instagram.
Before you wrap up, there is one thing actually I wanted to ask you. Since you told me to not put you on the spot, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, as somebody who possibly has possibly has, whatever way you want to look at it, has ADHD. What's something that you would tell a younger version of yourself?
Oh my God.
Looking back.
Oh my God. You're not broken. Yeah. Because I felt broken and I don't fit. And also it impacts your relationships and friendships. And I had an episode about friendships. I think maybe the reason I can't keep friendships is that. Not because something is completely wrong with me. It's just, I'm just wired differently. I think it would have made me sad, but I would have made it easier. I would have taken life less hard. You know, everything felt deeply.
Yeah.
No.
That's beautiful, honestly.
What about you?
Honestly, the only thing that I can say is everything will work out. Everything. Really.
So optimistic.
No,
I agree.
Everything will work out because
that's
again,
what you would need to hear. It feels dead-endy.
Exactly.
You know, like
in the moment you feel like it's all doom and gloom, but when you take a step back and you realize you're like, it's not that bad actually.
Yeah. So on the weekend, I had a meltdown for very stupid reasons. So bad. So I felt, first of all, because I didn't get the compliment that I was looking for. Not only that, but also I had a fight with about litter because they sent me the wrong cat litter and it smelled like coffee the entire house and a very strong smell. And I was like, anyway, so I fought with the lady. The lady kept giving me stupid answers. I felt stupid. At one point, I'm like, I just threw everything. I was like, I look dumb. Who are these? Ahmed looked at me. I was like,
he's like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
I was like,
Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, I was like, it's just litter. It's just litter.
By the way, one of the biggest things I've started to do recently is just, and it's, دايما we always say it, but we never do it because like, شو هالأكل إنه بلا طعمة. But just take a step back.
It's so hard. Listen, in the moment, it's hard.
It is hard, of course.
Let's be honest.
But دايما realize that things will work out. In the moment, it's hard.
It takes a lot of practice.
But you need to realize that right now, it's crappy. Yeah. It's fine.
I think maybe a more practical one is accept how bad it is now and just wait it out. I think have a bit of patience if you can.
Wait it out.
بس لأنه so when I was reading this book, which is an amazing book, it's called Unmasking.
Can you show us the name of the book?
Unmasking Autism. Look at this. Unmasking Autism. So there's one word we need to keep in mind is masking. So especially women do it. Masking means you have to fake it to fit in. You know, the many times I told myself not to interrupt, the many times I told myself act like you care or listen or focus or whatever. This book tells you a lot about what we've masked for so long and helps shed light on it and why we did and removes the shame from it. So it's a really good book to read. I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say?
You were talking about creating more content and
No, it's something else. See, we lost the train of thought.
Yes, ADHD. Sorry, yes, we're doing it
We
again.
are that completely.
We
Oh
love
my
it,
god, I completely forgot what I was trying to say. But this is a good book and read it. Unmasking Autism, but also generally masking is for all neurodivergents and how to make them feel better. I don't know what I was gonna say, so let me know what you think. Do you think you might be neurodivergent? Do you have people around you who are? How do you treat them? And also, if someone in your family is diagnosed, most likely you're showing some traits. Don't disregard that and treat them with kindness.
Exactly.
Is there anything you want to say? Last few words.
Honestly, I think the last thing you said, which is don't judge people, just be kind to people. That's something I truly believe in.
Yeah.
Actually, I was talking about it today. Always be kind.
I'll make fun of you in a bit.
I mean, you're a separate
type.
case, separate type. But no.
Thank you for joining, and thank you for being honest
Thank you
about
for having
this, and thank you for being vulnerable and honest. I know it's a tough topic.
It is, yeah.
And thank you guys, and please tune in for new episodes.